So it's been about a month since I got the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and one of the most requested videos on the channel from you guys is what apps I currently have on my iPhone at the moment. So over the past few years, the iPhone has been my daily driver. I did my full review of this, and I have to say I've been really happy with it because the improved battery life gets me through an entire day. The camera is really good with the triple camera setup, and in general, I decided to go with the top end model this year and the larger size with 512 gigs because in the past I found myself downloading a lot of apps, a ton of photos, and over the years, even though I don't use many of the apps that I have on here relative to the number that I have, I still find that it is nice to have most apps that I need in case I ever do need to use them at any given time. So today I'm going to talk about some of the general apps that I have as well as ones that you might not know about and things that I just find very useful in the everyday life on the iPhone 11 Pro. So for starters, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about like the general apps on like an everyday basis, but there are a few apps that I have that are very platform focused and people might be wondering which one I decided to choose. So for starters, the first two pages are just very general utilities, and looking at some of the apps that I have here, I use Apple Notes, I use Apple Reminders, I also use Apple Calendars, I use Google Maps, and for weather, I also just use the default one. But for things like file storage, I use Dropbox. I love that much more than Google Drive. And I also do have Nest as my kind of temperature controlling platform for the entire house, as well as YouTube Creator Studios. I've also got Sonos, which is kind of my music system of choice, and also Spotify that I like much more than Apple Music. I haven't had a chance to try Tidal, but on the second page, I also have apps such as Deliveries. My app of choice for booking flights and hotels is Expedia, and I've also got stuff like PayPal, RBC, Scotiabank, TD, and for social media, I find myself using Instagram the most for messaging. I also use Twitter and iMessage, of course, but I've also got WeChat and WhatsApp because certain campaigns that I do might have like international reps that prefer that. And for accounting, I just started using QuickBooks, which is pretty useful, but it does definitely have a bit of a learning curve. And those are just kind of like my general utilities all around there. And when it comes to photo and video editing on my smartphone, I do use VSCO as well as Lightroom. So if you guys want to see like a dedicated video on how I edit my photos, make sure you drop a like on this video and drop a comment down below, because that is kind of something that needs a video of its own just because of the amount of time it might take. So the first app that I think everyone needs to have is called Deliveries. And the reason why I like this is because I've had it for many years now, and although it does cost a little bit of money, I think it is worth every cent because I'm able to just have all my deliveries automatically copied from Clipboard over to here, and I can also see them on my computer as well, and it just shows the number of days until your package arrives. You can also check the status of it, go to the website and make any changes right away. But in conjunction to using Deliveries, I also have all of the carrier apps including FedEx, UPS, because a lot of times you might want to make like a special request for your package. One of my favorite apps is Unfold. So from there, I'm able to make some custom Instagram stories, and I also do have the premium plan, which gives you access to all the templates. And right here, I have all the things, including the CS1, the Art Pack, the RP2, and also the ones that they've done a collab with for like Tommy. So to use this, all you have to do is pick kind of the style that you want for a certain photo, tap on it and add your photo in right away. So just like that, you've got kind of like a collage style, and it's just super beautiful. And you can go from there to add certain stickers as well as text. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and add that, and I'm able to just kind of tell a story right there. So here are all my passes. And you can also just customize that the way you want it to. You can honestly spend a ton of time on each story. Sometimes I'm a little bit lazy on it, but as you can see here, I'm able to play with the text box. I can also add tons of different stickers and diagrams and arrows. So just a lot of fun things that you can do here to make your stories very unique to yourself. When it comes to like very quick photos, my photo editing app of choice is Lightroom and VSCO. So just for like a very quick photo, perhaps like an Instagram story or something, I will use VSCO and I won't even go through Lightroom if it's a JPEG. And from here, I'm able to look at all of my different filters that I might have, and I do have the subscription for this as well. So one of them that I really like to use for like the fall season is C7 as well as HB2. And for something like C7, it gives you a nice punch in the yellows, but you can adjust the intensity of it. And one of the things that I feel like is a little bit too much on C7 is the blues. So from here, I'm able to go into there, and through HSL, I can adjust the blues and play with the yellows as well, and also play with some of like the details and stuff. But like I said, if you want to see like a full video about how I edit my Instagram photos, just make sure you let me know, and I'll be sure to do that very soon. Before I talk about the next app though, a great piece of accessory that I think you should get for any new iPhone, especially at this price point, and because they are made out of glass, is a Kadabi sheath case for the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro. This case comes in at just 0.9 millimeters in thickness, and it has a nice rubber material that coats around the entire edge of your device, including the bottom. It can protect from drops and of course scratches, and it also just has like a very clean, thin, and minimal look to it. And I've loved these cases for a while now, and even got messages from you guys in the past few years that had picked these up after seeing my video. It has a bit of coverage on the front, it has a nice grip to it so you don't drop your device as much, and I'm going to drop a link to them down below, and a huge thanks to them for sponsoring this video. If you guys want to enter to win an iPhone 11, I'm giving away one on the channel, so just go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment down below, and follow me over on Instagram and Twitter, as that's where I'm going to be announcing the winner at the end of October, and I've got all the info to enter down in the description section below. I'm also a big user for Wallet, and I actually just started using Apple Pay like literally a couple days ago for my business cards, the Amex, as well as the TD Aeroplan and stuff like that. But what I use it for the most is actually for airlines. So as you can see, I've got like a pretty crazy amount of boarding passes right here over the past year or so. I think I've been on about 100 flights, so I just have all of my stuff right here so they can scan it at the airport. But I do recommend still printing things out just in case. Because I travel so much, if I do decide to do a trip where it is not with a company and where the company books the flights, I just like to go with the easiest method possible, and that is Expedia. So the reason why I use Expedia is because it's like all in one, and I feel like the prices are often the best, and I'm able to pick through different hotels, look at the ratings, pick different flights, and just have everything all in one because I just don't have time to put too much thought into each trip. I just go ahead and book it for like staff members as well as myself. So Expedia is like the easiest one by far, and I just have everything right here ready to go, and it's got all my boarding passes, info, and stuff that I need to kind of ensure the trip goes very smoothly. I also think it's very important to have like different utilities on your device, whether it's like banks, shipping companies, because you never know when you might need them. And airlines especially are ones where, for example, if the plane doesn't have like an entertainment system, a lot of that is actually built into the app itself. So it's just good to have to sign in easier, pick your seats and stuff like that, because if you don't have it when you need it, then it's a little bit annoying to download depending on where you are. So having utilities with everything kind of shifting towards mobile is a great piece of advice that I have for you guys. Because I do fly a lot, an app that I found recently is called Just Watch, and this right here is able to find different TV shows and the streaming platforms that you can find them on and just pick something to watch, because there's so much stuff out there and it's just hard to sort where the best place to rent is from. So for example, you can take a look at some of the titles that are currently available, see what's popular and trending, because Netflix always tries to recommend their own series, and I mean some of them are good, but a lot of them aren't. So right here, say I want to watch like Cold Pursuit, it'll show the different quality levels, SD, HD, and 4K, and as you can see here, 4K is only available on Apple TV, and if you want to watch it in HD, you can go ahead and get it on Amazon as well as the other platforms, Microsoft, YouTube, and stuff like that. So it's just a good place to figure out where exactly to go ahead and rent a certain show or movie. Splash Shop is still one of the most useful apps of all time that I have on this phone, and the reason why is because I'm able to control my computer from anywhere I am. So just go ahead and open it up, click on the computer, and as long as it's connected to Wi-Fi, I can make different changes, edit a video very slowly, drag something into Dropbox, which is what I use it most for, and it's just nice to control your computer from anywhere in the world. As someone who loses their key all the time, I've also got Tile here, and in the past, I found myself using Tile on and off because it wasn't that good, but with the newest models of the Tile, I find that it is very reliable and can find your keys faster through the app than if you were just to look for it yourself. So Tile is one that if you lose your keys, your phone, and wallet, and all that kind of stuff, make sure you have it because it is going to be super handy, because I find that I never lose my phone. One thing that I've really gotten into lately, and I definitely don't spend all my time talking about, is Formula 1, because it is just such a cool sport, and I watched a Netflix documentary and love everything about it. I can just track like everything about the sport from this, including news, podcasts, videos, replays, and even like qualifying, because the race times, if you live in the Pacific time zone, is like 5 in the morning, and that sucks. So you don't always want to get up in the morning and watch it like a true fan. So you've got the schedule here, you've got the standings and everything like that. So the Formula 1 app for any fan is just like a great way to keep up with it, and if there's a company or a team that wants to take me to a race, please hit me down below. I've got my email down there. With the iPhone 11 Pro's camera being one of the best features of this device, one of the best ways to take advantage of this is through a manual camera app, and there's a couple great ones out there including Moment, but I think the best one is Filmic Pro. So this gives you full manual control over your camera, whether it's different color modes, as well as white balance, focus, different frame rates, and you're able to even record on multiple cameras at once, which is great. So if you want to be able to do like films, which I've seen some pretty good stuff filmed on the iPhone, then Filmic Pro really allows you to do that. So it's great to see how good phones as well as software has gotten to give you the full ability, because Apple doesn't give you the Pro mod on the iPhone 11 Pro. So moving on to the next page, I've got some apps that I just don't use as much, but I still have them here. One of them is Seatgeek for any concerts, last minute shows and stuff like that, sporting events. And if you guys want to use my code, you can use David's, or you can also use @JustinSay to give you $20 off your first purchase. Unfortunately, they didn't give me any money to go ahead and buy someone a car or myself another car, but looking at the app itself, this is one of my favorite ones that I use, because when I travel, I really want to take in like any local events, especially sports, because I love sports. And this is just like an easy way to look at the resale market, the seats, and stuff like that. So other than that, below that, you've also got stuff like StockX and GOAT. I use both of them quite often to take a look at like the market price of a pair of shoes. And even though I haven't been into shoes as much lately, it is just nice to keep track of the used prices in case I decide to sell something and know what everything is worth at the moment. Another great app is called To One, and I'm someone who loves to make like mini bets with friends. So for example, if you're out at a restaurant and want to see who has to pay for everybody's bill, you just go ahead and use an app like To One, which is like a coin flipper. And there's also another one called Chwazi, and all you have to do is place all your fingers on the screen, and whoever's gets highlighted loses the bet. And it's just like some little fun games like that. Some other apps that you might notice on here is Breather as well as PureSpace, and I use those apps to rent spaces to film videos, and occasionally I also use Airbnb. So for example, if I'm filming like the iPhone review in another city, in like LA for example, or like the Samsung video, I'll go to these apps and find the best looking space to give you guys a nice little background and a bit of a change from sitting in my office or bedroom in every video. You've also got an app such as Grids, which allows you to make like a grid photo for your Instagram feed if you want to do like a 9 grid, and I'm definitely not planning to do that on my main feed anytime soon. And for those who are looking to do like video editing on your phone, even though you have like iMovie, I find Luma Fusion is the best one out there, and it also works on iPad. And for those who use like Final Cut or iMovie on a computer, then it's a very familiar linear experience. And it's just crazy that with the specs nowadays in tablets and smartphones, you're able to do that directly from a phone. But I will say, I personally don't really like to use it that much. I would much rather wait and use a computer, because I just find myself so much faster in editing on that. One thing that you might notice though is that my phone has absolutely no folders. I just have everything visually where I kind of feel like it's familiar, where I think it should be. And it's been like that since like my first iPhone or iPod. I've never been a fan of having folders, except for apps like airlines, where I might have like Swiss Air and all these random airlines that I don't fly with that much, but it's still good to have. But yeah, other than that, I have all my apps just where I think they are or where I want to use them. So the ones that I use the most are obviously near the front, and the ones that I don't use as much and are just good to have are near the back. Otherwise, if you guys have any app recommendations, make sure you drop them down below, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.